Hi, I'm Mike DePong, and I welcome you to this channel to Spirit Hill, Spirit Healing in and into Love and Light. Um, how are you doing on your healing journey? It's been a little bit since I've been here. It's been a kind of unusual summer for me, but I welcome you, and I'm glad you're here. This channel is all about healing, about spiritual healing, about awakening spiritual consciousness, because when we come here, we know what we're doing before we get here, but when we get here, we encounter different things because of the form of being we are. We are spirits incarnate. We are each a unique expression of spirit incarnate. All about us is imbued with the same spirit energies, but they all express in different ways. We as Homo sapiens have a unique way and a unique way of looking at life and a vantage point and unique opportunities. We are creators, we are co-creators, and so we come here to see and to move through the beauty of all of this middle world. There are other worlds, unseen worlds that I've spoken about before, and there are unseen energies and entities of those worlds and magical energies here too, in this middle world, that are all here to help us in the healing journey. But it's not just about healing, but we heal, we need to heal, we should heal if we want to enjoy the reason we came, to see all of the beauty that is about us, to just be us, to enjoy it. And that's where the real healing comes in. That's why we really want to be here, is to heal. Now, the last few weeks, I have revised a poem. It started out being very sciencey. I guess is a very unscientific word to talk about it, and unliterary word to talk about it. Pedantic, perhaps. But I want to read it to you because now I've revised it. In my healing journey, I am a writer and an author, a speaker, a communicator, been a teacher. I've done a lot of things, and none of those things are my exact purpose. Those are different paths. We each have many paths available to us. This is the path right now that I'm on. My purpose is to express me, to be me, and that gives me joy. And even though I still encounter trauma and I still deal with trauma, and our heart, ego says, run from trauma, hide it, bury it, and it causes all kinds of other problems. Heart says, face and embrace those things that are traumas, because we can deal with it, because when we know who we are, we understand that we have great power. And part of it is this. Part of my power is this. I don't know how it stacks up literarily, but this is an expression of my heart of love. And I wanted to understand something from this poem, and I didn't know what I was going to say before I started reading, and I don't know what I'm going to say after I finish. But the poem is called Photosynthesis. To everything, there's a season. Look, Mommy, the leaf is green. That's a spinach leaf, sweetie. What's spinach, Mommy? We eat spinach. You have eaten it, but you didn't know it is called spinach. Oh boy, I eat green? Yes, you do, green spinach leaves. Mommy bends down, stretches her brown hands to the plant and pulls off a leaf. She hands it to Sweetie, who sees the veins in the shape of it. Now, Sweetie, brush off that little bit of dirt, blow on it real hard. I did, Mommy. Now what? Mommy has her own. She smiles into Sweetie's eyes and takes a clean bite from her leaf. Now you. Sweetie smiles and bites. Green is so good. Sweetie stands with a lettuce leaf in her hand, displaying it to her daughter, Lily. What is it, Mommy? It's a leaf of lettuce, Lily. What's that for, Mommy? It's for us, for the air we breathe. Sweetie takes a long, dramatic breath in. It breathes out oxygen to us. We need that to live. And it's for green food, which we need too. Oh, Mommy, it's beautiful. Mommy blows hard on the greenish red lettuce leaf and takes a big bite. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath in. It's so good, Lily. I'm going to try it too. Lily takes a bite and inhales a full, funny breath. It's wonderful. She breathes in and out again hard. Mommy, if lettuce gives oxygen, what do we give when we blow out? Mommy smiled. We humans give the kind of air plants need, carbon dioxide. Lily frowned as she looked at the horizon towards the city. Can lettuce breathe that? A brown haze hangs over the far-off city's horizon. No, Lily, it cannot completely. It makes plants and us sicker than we need to be. Why do people make that kind of air, Mommy? Mommy, Sweetie, and Lily wonder who Chloe laughs with under the grove of oaks and maples. Lily calls to Chloe, who runs to the three as they sip on their iced mint tea, their glasses sweating with condensation. Fresh mint leaves float atop their tea. Who are you talking to out there under those trees? Lily asks. The trees. I asked them why their leaves aren't green anymore. What did they tell you? They said those pretty red and orange and purpley leaves were always under the green, just waiting for their time to share. Chloe beams and giggles then. Suddenly, she grows silent and tilts her head, still smiling. What do you hear, granddaughter? Sweetie whispers. Chloe looks into her great-grandmother's glass. Those leaves are still green. Mama's hands are soft and clear. Your hands are like the leaves on the tree, Grandmommy. Chloe looks at her great-grandmother. The green and the purple are both beautiful. Oak said you will understand. Chloe runs back towards the grove. The ladies fan themselves a bit and smile, each one watching Chloe, who pauses under the trees, but for a few seconds, turns and skips back. Did Oak tell you something else? Sweetie asks. Dance for each color. Let's dance. Chloe hums in harmony with an early fall wind blowing across them. The women rise up and flow with her melody. Mommy sits with her glass toppled into her lap. A mint leaf clinging on the edge of her skirt, a radiant red smile on her now still lips. Chloe dances over to Grandmommy, removes the glass, and gently lifts the mint leaf off of her great-grandmother's skirt. Oak said you understood. We love you. That's the poem. I don't know how you'll take it, but I want you to know a few things that I thought about as I wrote it and as I worked through various versions of it. It makes me think about the issues that I allude to very briefly, and some of the issues that I allude to very briefly in the poem. The issues of personal, social, and environmental injustices. And it's from the viewpoint of a little girl, successive generations in the poem. And I associate that little girl in my creation of the poem with my inner child. My inner child being expressed as a wild child, one with divine feminine energy, which is why I cast it, the poem with women. Because the divine feminine, the wild woman of the inner child, is unrestrained and unaffected by social conventions that have been determined by historically a white patriarchy. It's one that has been ego-energized that which we need to heal from. When we come here, we need ego because we are in relationship with one another. But that ego means that we're going to experience trauma, and it will require healing. But the rewards are so great when we come to awaken to self, to hear all of spirit about us, all that is in this world, all of the energies of other unseen worlds and unseen energies that are around us. We get to be in connection, in unity, one with all of that. We are one with one another. All political problems, let me say the issues, all social and environmental injustices, all of it stems from personal injustice. The personal injustice that I care deeply about, that I know I needed. I know my whole life, there's nothing been wasted. What I experienced from childhood on to now, but especially this last 11 years, of a real conscious awakening, of knowing what's going on, of knowing who I am. That's the personal injustice. When you don't know who you are, you can't begin to heal. And then you start projecting that out into the collective, these hurts, these traumas. Ego that tries to cover it up, ego that tries different ways, either to bring you down to inferiority or to lift you to a false sense of superiority, to make you lesser or better than others. We don't need to be less or better than anyone. We just need to know who we are. And when that gets washed out into society, into the collective energy, then all kinds of problems come about. I guess my urging here is, listen to your heart. You each have one. And the experience of these little girls who become women in the poem, their experience is this. They come to recognize who they are. They learn something. They learn that this earth, the spirit of this earth, Gaia herself, gives us a law of love, and that law is couched in respect and balance. I learned to live, part of healing is learning to live in respect and balance with ego and heart. We have these two energy systems. Ego has its place, and it can be loved, it can be faced and embraced and loved and put in its place to function as it should. Heart is why we came here, though, to process and to live and to move through this creation of physicality, this 3D creation, to enjoy it by heart. Heart is the energy system that we really came here to live. But there's a balance, and to do this, to be here in this form, to be here with one another like we are now, it takes both. It takes ego and heart. So when heart is doing what it should do, it helps us to see the respect and balance we can have within ourselves. It brings us to the point of understanding that there are unseen worlds and unseen energies, and that there are spirits all around us. And we learn to live in respect and balance with that. This creates healing. And then we move even a step further beyond that. We learn to live in respect and balance with all of this middle world, with the elements, earth, air, water, fire, ether, to learn to live in respect and balance with this middle world. And we don't abuse and rape and plunder what this creation is. To do that in the name of jobs and the economy and all that kind of crap is it's destructive. It's the work of ego. To really heal and for there to be a huge change in the collective, and I look forward because I see it happening more and more, we come to the point of redefinition of what true abundance is. This redefinition is crucial. We have enough. We are enough. Do we sometimes want more, want other things? Yeah, that's fine. Go for it. See where your heart leads you. See what the spirits guide you into. Live in respect and balance with yourself and with them and with this world. And then the last part of this to me is that we learn to live in respect and balance with one another, to love one another, to understand where others come from. And so you see, environmental injustice comes when we don't learn to live in respect and balance with this middle world, with the elements and the energies, and to realize that there are niches, environmental ecosystems that species can learn to thrive in, that they do thrive in very naturally and organically. And living in respect and balance with that would mean that we all have, all creatures, all species, all things can live in thriving. And we move from that to the collective, from the me to the we. And you don't have to be involved politically. I am. Because to ignore it, could I be happy? Yeah. Could I be a hermit? Yeah. I wouldn't be too happy being a hermit, actually, but some people could be and are, and that's great. My heart leads me to say, I think that I need to consider the we. I am at that point of being there. Are there other things to deal with? Personal thing, always. It never changes and never will as long as I'm here. But I will tell you this, there can be great healing from the social and environmental injustices that exist. I'm going to be talking about this more in some coming videos, I'm quite sure, because, and I'm not even going to show it to you. I referred to it last time. I still don't have copies of paper. Surprisingly, part of this whole injustice and imbalance comes out. The book that I have written that will be available has still not been delivered to me yet, so that's coming. But I will talk about it there because it is about social injustice to some extent. And it brings in the healing that we need personally to move into healing collectively. So, having said that, I don't know what more. I hope there's something here that has resonated with you, that speaks to you, to your heart, that gives you some joy, that lifts you up, that helps you to consider the ego and heart within you and the respect and balance that is your right. So, until next time, love and peace.